Get this thing going. We're going to talk about some motivation, some meditation, some inspiration. If it's not one of the three, I don't want it. So, what are the types of challenges that you guys are going through today? I see a lot of people going through a lot of things in their lives, and it's amazing how when we put ourselves in a place of focus, when we put ourselves in a place where we start utilizing what we have inside, the magnitude that can be affected across the world, that, a person, in Arizona, this person, I just spoken to somebody in the Philippines, and as we were talking, as we were working on, some things that were going on with their phone and stuff, I am often reminded that we affect other people, okay? Our mentalities, our abilities inside of who we are, our beliefs inside of what we do and what we become. And so it's pretty awesome because today I was just talking to a guy and he said, I've already listened to your stuff, your mentality, your ability to uplift other people. And I see these people commenting there in Twitch and watching the videos across the globe and in many different ways, and here I am out there promoting and uplifting and getting after it. And I think about all of you. I think about the things, the challenges, the things that we go through on a daily basis, what we're facing off against, and it really comes down to your mentality. It comes down to what you believe about yourself, what you believe about who you are on the inside. And I have my podcast, Google, Apple, Amazon. I utilize the platform Anchor, which basically puts it out across multiple podcasts. And I'm here with you guys. YouTube is open, motivation, meditation, inspiration. The group's reaching nearly 8,000 members at this point. And it's only when you open your mind, okay? It's when you want things to be amazing, when you want to help out other people, when you truly want to sit it down inside of who you are. And, that's what I do on a daily basis. I have a position. I'm out there driving. I completed about 53 hours of drive time this week. Other people are not putting their minds to the test. They're not putting their abilities. And here I am grinding on multiple platforms, across the globe, and I'm focusing. I'm after it. I'm getting after it. And that's what it really takes. It takes your ability to focus to the point where you start to become a positive person, where the people around you, the people that want to be a part of your team, they see you, all right? They see you. And, when other people around the world are becoming uplifted because you came along, that's when you're making changes in the world, my friends. And that was the most joy to me today when I was talking to that person, was that people across the globe are watching my stuff. And it's freaking awesome. To me, that's awesome that I could talk to somebody that I've talked to for like the very first time, and they've already watched my stuff online. They're out there researching positivity. They're seeking it out. They're seeking out that focus the same way I do, the same way I enjoy to listen to those motivational speakers. Those people like those Les Browns, like those David Goggins, like those people that are truly going after it, and that's what it's about. And there I was listening to this guy, and we were talking, and he started to say, you talk about mentality, you talk about the ability to believe in yourself, to pick yourself up. And he told me, he said, at one time I was sleeping on the streets. And I said, I had the ability to say, I understand. Okay, I understand because I've been there. All right? You know, when you go through challenges, when you face off against things, they bring you to where you are today. They bring you to the place you wouldn't be where you are if you didn't go through things, my friends. If you didn't face off against things, if you didn't have to work through challenges, you wouldn't be where you are right now. And you see, every moment that we're alive, every part of our path, every part of our journey is worth it because it's an experience. And when we run from these experiences, we don't focus to the point where we see the positivity, where we don't focus to the point where we start utilizing our gifts and our talents, then what are they worth? And see, that's the thing that I started to realize, is that you got to embrace it. You got to truly get to the place where you believe in yourself and you believe in your being. And as you start doing that, as you start opening that part of yourself up, as you start becoming that person within you, okay, the challenges that you face off against, the things that you're going through, you will start to overcome. But you got to be positive. You got to be the person who is willing to go through those challenges, that's willing to face off against them. And that's where positivity matters. See, positivity starts mattering when you give a matter to it, when you give a matter to wanting to have a positive life, to want to have a positive journey, that the things that you want to achieve, the places that you want to go, the people that you want to invite into your mind. And it's up to you to invite them in. It's up to you to uplift. It's up to you to become who you are inside. And you see, that's what I do on a daily. You know, I focus into that place. You know, I go to the lake, which I go to every day since I've gotten my vehicle repaired, and I sit down and I meditate. You know, I sit down and I open up, and you know, people are wanting to become a part of that connection. They're wanting a part of that lifestyle. They're wanting to sit down at a lake and to enjoy themselves and enjoy the slow things, the things that really do make life worth your time. And your time matters. Okay, your being matters, your purpose matters. When you're going through challenges and you find a way to get back up, when you're going through things, okay, remember that what your mind says is what matters the most. What you believe about yourself, what you believe about your being, what you believe about your vibration. And so here we are. You know, we're in that place, we're in that time, we're in that space. And are we doing what it takes? And that just tells me that I am. It tells me that I am doing that I am truly in that mindset, that when I allow the things that are not there for me to move out of the way, the things that are meant for me move in the way. And you see, yesterday I completed about 10 hours of drive time. You know, I was out there driving when other people were going home and resting. And, you know, it's inside of yourself that your mind becomes important. It's inside of your vibration that the universe has the ability to yield. And you see, a lot of people, they want the yield, but they don't want to put in the time. They don't want to put in the place where they're asking the question that I ask every single day, is what I'm doing today. Is it motivation? Is it meditation? Is it inspiration? Because if it's not one of the three, I don't want it. And so there we are. And if you are thinking, man, is Marcel, is he motivation? You know, and then you hear a guy say to you over the phone, you are an inspiration. All right? And they're talking to you all the way from the Philippines. You know, And here you are on a place, on a grind within yourself, okay? And other people are becoming uplifted. Other people are becoming affected. You know, I want you to become the best at your professions. I want you to become the best in your homes, to become the best in your relationships. Okay, I want you to achieve a prepaid life, not a postpaid life, all right? I want you to be able to afford the things that you want to. I want you to be able to dream the things that you want to dream. Go the places that you want to go. Go through the challenges that only you can. And the only way to get there is for the mind to open up to the space where it becomes available. Okay, think about something that you thought was impossible, right? Think about a time when you had a challenge, okay? And you were thinking about a way to overcome that challenge, all right? Think about when you overcame that challenge that you thought was impossible, all right? When you thought you couldn't overcome it, and then all of a sudden you overcame that challenge, and that challenge became easy. All right? You know, I used to play a lot of video games. I used to play a lot of World of Warcraft, had multiple level 80s. You know, I spent a lot of time doing those types of things. And I have this community that's, you know, on Twitch that follows me. And you see, but all things that we use, even those skills from video games, are being used today. You know, when I'm out driving, when I'm working orders, when I'm working through things, I'm grinding. You hearing what I'm saying? So I'm a promoter of everybody, okay? You know, but the greatest thing is when this life becomes the joy. All right? When you find a way to use your gifts, you know. I did a lot of team play, and I was on there, and I was parts of teams, and I learned teamwork. All right? I learned how to read through playing video games. I learned how to read through doing raids. I learned how to read through not being able to spell the best. You know, I was told that I had a learning disability. Okay? The only disability that I ever had was what I allowed other people to tell my mind. See, once your mind turns in such a way that your mentality opens up, okay? When your mentality opens up, that's when things become possible. And so, as soon as I realized that I was only limiting myself by listening to other people's opinions of me, okay, and the gifts that I had, the talents that I had, all right? I remember going and working inside a Cox Communications building. And as I was inside there, you know, as I was inside that place and I was going through that time, you know, the only person who could even keep up with me, because I had learned those skills through playing video games, was a guy who was bilingual. I was only using English, remember. And this guy was speaking English and Spanish. Okay? And to even keep up with me, you know, they had to steal sales just to keep up with me. All right? Not to try to take over, just to keep up with me. You understanding what I'm saying? When you are on your grind, when you are in your place, when you are going through your challenges, when you're truly sitting down inside of who you are, okay, your gifts become sufficient. The person that you are inside starts to open up. The ability inside of who you are starts to become. And when you start to manifest from there, that's when people start seeking you out. That's when they start asking you, how are you able to do that? How are you able to use that part of who you are on the inside? And that is where it matters the most. It matters the most inside of you. It matters the most when you're focusing. You know, I often talk about the law of riches. You know, another motivational speaker talks about this too. The day that Tony Robbins decided that he was rich. And you see, it reminds me of a time when I had to sleep in my van and I had just $5, okay, and a tank of gas. And I gave my $5 that I had to a homeless person. And I was homeless myself. Okay, I was in a place where I had only a van. And I was getting ready to start sleeping in that van every day. And so, as I was in that place and I gave that to that person, I understood that when you give, you receive. Okay? And I gave that. And the amazing part was, right after I gave that, I ended up getting over $20 of tips in the Uber app. You see what I'm saying? So your wealth is waiting for you. When you literally create a positive mentality, when you create a positive ability inside of yourself, inside of your being, inside of your vibration, that invites the universe to fill that space and to open that part of who you are. When you use your gifts, when you use your talents, when you use your ability inside of who you are to overcome your challenges, the universe is going to yield. It's going to open up things. And you see, the interesting part is that when you see other people that are gaining those parts, that are getting those parts of their gifts, are you looking at them and seeing what Steve Harvey talks about? You know, Steve Harvey talks about a parachute opening up, okay? You know, and sometimes you got to hit those rocks. But you see, the thing is we're so worried about hitting the rocks that sometimes the parachute doesn't even open. And we're looking at other people whose parachutes have already opened. And are we saying to them, yes, go. Get that wealth. Get that place. Get that thing. I know mine is coming. See, that's a mentality that you can tell if somebody's truly wealthy inside, is when they enjoy other people achieving things for themselves, getting things for who they are, overcoming their challenges, finding the place where what we have inside matters the most. And you know, when I was talking to that guy, he said, you are an inspiration. Okay? You are an inspiration. And that's what I drive for every day. I get on here, I grind, I get out there, I drive, I spend the time, I spend the hours, I spend the mentality to utilize that I might be able to, for people going through the challenges that I have, might find a lighter day. And so that's why it's worth focusing. It's worth using your skills. It's worth using the stages that you're on, embracing the stage that you're on, embracing the mentality that you have, embracing the place that you are inside of who you are. And you see, at a certain point, the universe will find a way to uplift you. It will find a way to become a part of you. It will become a part of your journey, and your story will affect the world. It will affect people from here to the Philippines to many different places across the globe, you know? I mean, I'm talking about people from here to Mexico to you know, that was just one from today. You know, I have people in India, Germany, Nigeria. You know, they're viewing this stuff. They're viewing these mind. And you see, I decided one day that I wasn't going to go off of some other thing, that it was going to come from within, that if there was going to be a way, I was going to find a way to reach out to those people across the globe, that to reach out to those people who are going through challenges, you know, that are truly going through things, and I'm looking at it, and I'm sitting here, and I'm saying, I'm doing it. And when I hear people in the Philippines, you know, when you call into a company and they've already heard about you, you know, they're becoming uplifted by you, then that's amazing. But I see you all. I see your challenges. I understand you're going through things. I understand that you're facing off against things, and you might be going through things today that you feel like nobody else understands. And if they did, then would it be worth it to you is the question that I have. Because when you face off against it for you, when you overcome it for yourself, who then feels the loads lightened? Who then feels that it was worth those challenges? Who then all of a sudden wants to share their stories and wants to overcome their challenges? You. And so is that really worth it? Is the not feeling that the challenge is worth it, not embracing the challenge worth it? Because when you start to focus in towards positivity, when you start to find the upper hand, when you start to put yourself in a place where you're allowing the things that are moving out of your life, then how do you feel? You see what I'm saying? And see, a lot of people, they think of that as selfish. Okay? When we take everything away from you, what do you have? Yourself. Okay? So be that gentle person towards other people. Be that unselfish person. Be that person that is selfless. All right? Nothing more, nothing less than you. You know, I am so happy that I'm able to affect the world. You know, I know I don't have all the wealth that, you know, the top motivational speakers have, because it's not there yet. And I find joy in that, actually. I find joy in the fact that you might be hearing this message for the first time. You might be sitting down and you might have some stresses that are able to be decompressed, that are able to be overcome. If you can yet just open your mind. And you see, when I look at all these different motivational speakers, I hear their stories, I hear their struggles. You know, and it's interesting that yesterday, a couple days ago, I started talking about one, you know, preparation, right? How do you prepare yourself, you know? I talked about the rabbit and how the rabbit, you know, digs a hole as a refuge for storms. You know, are we digging our holes? Are we paying our things in advance? Are we getting to a page where we're utilizing our gifts and our talents? You know, I'm here, I'm grinding, I'm after it, you know, I'm getting after it too. And, you know, it's a joy. I am so happy that things happened the way they did, because I wouldn't be where I am right now. Because you see, I wouldn't be going through the things that I'm going through at this time if I didn't focus, if I didn't get to that part inside where it is, you know, and I am there. I'm here to tell you that you're worth it. I'm here to tell you to believe in yourself, to believe in your ability, to believe in your vibration. And I'm here to tell you that you are a blessing. That when you focus and you allow the things that aren't meant for you to move out of the way, things have the ability to fill that space, have the ability to open you up, have the ability to bring you closer to having an able mentality, having an able vibration. And It's inside of that vibration that you start to believe in you. It's inside of that vibration that you start to overcome what other people thought was impossible. Because you are. You are an amazing human being. You are on an amazing path. Your very life essence is important. Your very vibration is you. And here we are, and what is it that you seek? What is it that you want to overcome? What is it that you're facing off against today? See, motivation, meditation, and inspiration is a lifestyle for me. It's a lifestyle for who I am inside. It's a lifestyle for what I'm going through and what I'm facing off against. I am grateful for all of you. I'm grateful for the people out there that are going through things today, that are facing off against challenges, that are connecting, that are seeking out after assistance from mentality, from ability within. I look at all of you in such a way, I see the blessings that you came this way, Well, when we're inside of our own challenges, sometimes we feel like there's a fog around us. It's like a great fog that is bearing over you. And its only way to leave is when you become the light in the room. When you become stronger than the challenge. When you become greater than the challenges that are going on around you. When you start to gain that place and you start to use those kind of skills, they're going to require parts of you that require study. Okay? They're going to require parts of you that require mentality. And are you enabling that kind of environment within yourselves? Are you enabling that kind of environment within who you are? So here we are, is what I'm trying to say. Here we are in this place, and a lot of people took this downtime for granted. They've taken this downtime as a place to not look for a way up. I haven't. I've looked at this downtime as a place within. I've looked at this downtime as a place of overcoming, as a place on this journey, on this path, on this purpose, on this day. And I recognize that people across the globe are being affected by this message. And how do you get inwards? How do you sit down and make time for yourself unless you put yourself as a priority, right? It's kind of interesting when somebody is hungry, okay? One of the most interesting things is that the nerve for hunger inside of the body is so much that if that was turned towards success, the energy would be applied and a lot more people would become successful. Are we becoming hungry at being ourselves? Are we becoming hungry to the point where the only thing we know how to do is succeed? The only thing we know how to do is overcome our emotions, overcome our pains, our fears, where we're so focused that we're hungry. And I look within the mind at hunger, and I ask, can we apply that to other parts of our lives? Can we apply that to, say, overcoming challenges in different ways? Can we sit down at a point and say, let's do this, let's become this, let's face off against these kind of challenges, let's get to that place where we have what it takes within? And are we getting to that place where the pains and the fears and the emotions aren't as hungry as the knowledge to learn from the pains, the fears, and the emotions? To no longer let them hold you back. That's the type of hungry that I am with breath work. Okay, that's the type of hungry that I am when I sit down and do meditation. Okay, I'm hungry and I'm starving to learn. I'm starving to overcome. I'm starving to manifest. I'm starving to believe within. I'm starving to be that person inside, to have those kind of blessings come out, to have that kind of place, to have that kind of purpose in this life. I'm starving for other people to see that light, to see that place, to see that person inside, to find that place, to find that ability, to find that kind of mentality. So here we are, you know. When you light up within, I remember the day I went from caring from other people more than myself to caring about myself. Do you care for you? Do you truly care for who you are on the inside? Do you care for that one person who you are? That person that's facing off against those kinds of challenges, that's seeking out that kind of light, that's seeking out that kind of path, that is seeking out that kind of journey. You know, I'm really starting to be happy within this being. You know, I remember a time when my pains were so much that I was carrying past the pains, you know, and I think about a time now where I care about myself without pain, you know, and it's when we start inviting that kind of joy into our lives, we start inviting that kind of joy into our beings, into our purpose, into our paths, you know. I'm grateful, you know what I mean? But when our student inside asks to learn from our teacher, do we listen? When the student inside wants to overcome the challenges, do we listen? You know what I mean? And are we able to listen to ourselves? You know, I know that when you're going through things, a lot of times emotion tries to take over, okay? Emotion tries to stop you. It tries to hold you back. It tries to not allow you the place to open your mind. It tries to not allow you to go beyond. And, you know, it's when you do go beyond those kind of challenges, it's when you do find that place inside of who you are. It's when you do find that ability to know yourself, to spend time inside of who you are, to start to decide that things are positively moving in your direction. when you start utilizing that person inside of who you are. So that's the person I'm striving to become. That's the person who I want to be. I want to be that person who is so focused that when people see you, you know, they know that you're on your path, that you're in your place, that you're going through your challenges, when they know that they can overcome theirs by you studying yourself, by you studying your energy, okay, then what we got going on inside starts to become worth it. And so here I am. Here I am in this place. Here I am in this time. Here I am in this space, you know, within this nether, within this universe, looking within as others see that as a reflection outwards as meditation. You know, when I'm working through breath work, when I'm inside of my breath work, I'm looking for a way to overcome the challenges. When I'm inside of breath work, I'm looking for a way to be who I am on the inside, you know. So how can we uplift other people from us being ourselves? You know what I mean? How can we uplift other people from us being ourselves? That's a question that I pose to everybody. How can we uplift other people from us being ourselves? And it's only will happen when you're using your focus, when you're using your knowledge, when you are using that person that you are inside, that mentality, that ability for you to be you. That's the only way that I know that you can become an inspiration, is when people hear your story, when they hear your pains, when they hear your struggles, and that you had an ability to make it through them. And that is when the universe starts to yield, starts to give to the person who's willing to move forward, willing to get out there and start to focus and to start to use the knowledge within, to use the mentality within themselves, to use the mentality within who they are. See, you gain access to skills when you do things like open yourself open, when you start to open your mind. You know, if I hadn't sat down there and done and played video games, I wouldn't have been able to work at Cox Communications building under contract. I wouldn't have been able to work for Chrysler, you know, do credit applications and, you know, sell multiple cars and get first and second place. If I hadn't have done that and I hadn't learned those skills, then I wouldn't have been able to carry people and drive people around and be able to enjoy driving people, to continue to focus, to be able to get on there and be able to do this for you today. If I hadn't used all the skills that I have, I wouldn't be where I am. I wouldn't have had that person that I was on the phone call with from T-Mobile who said, I've already listened to your stuff, your mentality, your ability to open your mind, to open your mentality within who you are, to open yourself up, to utilize that part of who you are inside is an inspiration. See, you can do that when you focus, when you use your knowledge, when you use your being inside. And just affecting one person is one of 1 million, 10 million, 20 million. One is just a number. Okay? And when you do that, you will be surprised how the universe yields to the one that wants to become and inspiration. Connect with me, motivation, meditation, inspiration.yoga. See yourselves become those reflections. Start testing out the skills that I talk about. The things about writing things down, about believing in yourself, about being who you are on the inside, about speaking your mind, about becoming selfless and not selfish, about being who you are, about being a blessing that the universe will yield to you. Watch what happens in your lives. Watch what happens in your days. Watch what happens around you, and watch how the people are affected when your focus, your knowledge becomes centered. See, Einstein wasn't wrong. In fact, he was talking about you. He was talking about when mass and energy are interchangeable. You are both mass and you are both energy, and you have a vibration, and that vibration leaves ripples. If you want to look for vibrations in others, if you want to seek out and say, well, is that possible? Go look up all those people. Go look up Johnny Cash. Go look up, Bruce Lee. Go look up any other person who has done something great, and you will find the reason why they did it was they used the knowledge that they had and they focused. And you will see that you are the mass and the energy within the universe. And Einstein stated, become friends with the universe. Okay, when you become friends with somebody, you listen to how their viewpoint is. You start to view it from a different angle. You take a universal aspect. Okay, what does the universe say about you? And when the universe starts to call you an inspiration, when the universe starts to call you a reflection of understanding, of being, of caring, of purpose, then this universe starts to utilize you as that. And so if you want those kind of yields, if you want those kind of people around you, if you want to become that kind of person within yourself, find a way to become a blessing to others by you using your skills, by you using your talents, by you using your mentality. Anyways, my friends, I'm so grateful. This is me. I'm Marcel, and this is Motivation, Meditation, Inspiration. You can visit my website, motivation, meditation, inspiration.yoga. As I close,